wanted a way that agents could hone their craft and be a part of a larger community, get the resources they need and information they need to know. We cover relevant topics in the industry that will help you close more sales. We talk to top producers and industry leaders to share knowledge and best practices from around the country. So if you want to make more sales, then listen up, because we're dropping gold. All right, so earlier today, I asked a question and I got a lot of great responses to that question. And that's, I was asking, if you're being honest, okay, because not everybody wants to admit it, but if you're being honest, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you pay attention to your competition? And then I followed it up with another question: do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because, again, just because somebody were to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 8, I follow my competition all the time. But in their minds, they might think there's a good, legit reason as to why they do it. It doesn't necessarily have to have a negative connotation or a negative reason. So that's why I wanted to ask that follow-up question. And so after looking at the reviews, the responses that everybody answered earlier today, there's a mixed bag, and I like a lot of the responses that are on there. And I don't know that there's necessarily a right or a wrong. Again, it's circumstantial, right? It's going to necessarily, in some cases, it'll be more relevant to follow your competition than in others. But let's look at it in general, just as an insurance agent, because we had some people who were piping in from the insurance agent side and then kind of, saying, well, but on the agency side, right, as an FMO or as a lead vendor or as, something other than an agent. But let's just take it from the agent perspective, because most of the people in here, it's pretty much that's like the tie that binds us all together, is that we are talking about selling direct to consumer. And in the space of selling direct to consumer, my personal thoughts are that I think it's okay to at least maybe be aware of some of the things that people are doing. But I would rather say that if you're going to take a look at what your competition in your surrounding areas is doing, that you just do that. Take a look. Don't go too deep into it. Don't spend too much time trying to reverse engineer it and pick it apart, because at the end of the day, you want to do what is going to be most like you. You want to have your personal touch, your feel on the situation. So what I mean by that is, I know from talking with thousands of agents, I know that many agents can get caught up worried about someone taking their business, worried about 4 or 5 people marketing in the same area, worried about if they do Facebook marketing and someone else does Facebook marketing in the same area, that it will take their leads from them, worried about, the list goes on, right? You can worry about a lot of different things as an independent agent. But, and let me also preface with saying that I used to be this way as well. I used to worry a lot more about what my competitors were doing, what people around me were doing, and if they were doing it better than me, right? Because I think at the root of it, a lot of times, is you're always wondering, well, are they getting more clients than me? Are they closing better than me? Are they talking to more people? Are they generating more leads? Are they, are they ultimately doing a better job than I am? Is there something that they're doing? Is there some kind of secret sauce that is causing them to basically be successful while I'm still building? And I think what ended up happening for me is that I had to really have a shift the way I was thinking, because the reality is, if you, again, and I don't want to beat you guys over the head with this, but I mean, 10,000 people a day are turning 65. So if you're in the senior market, you're in a position where if you're learning to be proficient, or if you already are proficient in the senior market, you are in a good space and there are plenty of people for you to talk to. And if you live in those areas that are more rural, where maybe your reach isn't going to be as good, well, you also have at your fingertips, at your disposal, the means to be able to learn how to expand your own territory. Not only through, the different marketing venues that you can look at for lead generation, but also platforms that teach you how to sell over the phone so that you don't have to only market in areas that you can drive to. I know that there's some people who are like, man, I've worn out my market that's within a 2-hour range. So now I'm going to have to extend it to a 3-hour range where I have to drive out 3 hours away to go to appointments, and then 4 hours and then 5 hours. Like, you don't want to be in that position. You want to be in a better position where you can say, I got my local market and I'd love to go see them belly to belly. And if I do get leads coming in further than where I'm comfortable driving, I have a new skill set where I can sell over the phone and take care of them just as well. But I do want to say that as much as all of us are on here, we want to be proud and say, you know what, my clients would never leave me. I think at the end of the day, if you can at least start to accept the fact that, yes, you will lose some clients, it's normal. There's some really great agents out there, some really persuasive agents out there. And so it's normal, right? If you can just admit, hey, I'll lose some clients, it doesn't make you a bad agent. It doesn't. Because it's going to happen to everybody. To the best of us, it happens. So here's what I would suggest. First, you have to just admit that and be okay with it. Come to terms with it. Second, you have to realize that if you have a mindset of scarcity, then you will behave in a way that shows you have a mindset of scarcity, which means you'll be really, really concerned with what everyone else is doing, which will then hinder you from doing what you need to be doing to start expanding your agency. So I always want to caution agents that if you find yourself too caught up in worrying and looking at what everybody else is doing, and just know that you're taking away valuable, precious time from yourself, that you could be investing into making more phone calls, talking to more people, doing more presentations, which leads to more sales. The saying that we have, especially in call center environments, activity, activity, activity. It's that simple. Activity leads to results. But it has to be the right kind of activity. It has to be the type of activity that is leading you towards getting in front of more people, talking, having more conversations with prospects. Because if the activity that you're doing is just looking and funnel hacking and trying to figure out what agent A is doing and why agent B is doing this, and maybe I should change up my tactics and use different software, and maybe I should do this or that. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're constantly chasing the next shiny object, well, you're taking away that valuable time that you need to be investing into talking to prospects. So be very careful when you're looking around at what your competition is doing. It's okay to just peek, kind of see, get an idea. It's even better if you're a part of groups like this and other groups that will definitely give you some great valuable content and information that you can go and plug in right away and start utilizing in your own agency. But it's dangerous if you're constantly allowing the thought and prospect of what's everyone else doing and are they doing it better. If that's the mentality you have, it's a mentality of scarcity. And that's something that you can, listen to me, you can change that at the drop of a dime. You can decide right now, as I did when I did this. I decided I'm done worrying about other people. I am done worrying about competition. I am done worrying if somebody is doing something better than I am. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to realize that we live in a beautiful, amazing country where opportunity is exploding in the senior market. We live in a place where I know that if I hustle hard, if I just make the dials, if I just prospect, if I make presentations, and I get to show people who I am and how I really care about helping them, that it will lead to more sales. Because at the root of why I do anything is because I want to help. And if genuine that genuine desire can be shown in how you talk and how you present, then people will pick up on that and they will want to work with genuine people. A lot of salespeople have a really they've had a really bad experience with salespeople, right? And so a lot of people don't like the word sales. I personally am proud to say I'm a salesman, because we are. We have a different style, right? Because our style is to educate, but don't get it twisted. We still have to sell, because you can educate the crap out of somebody and still not close that deal. So what we need to do first and foremost is we do have to know and be passionate about what we're doing. And if we are passionate and we can let that shine through, I promise you, the people you're talking to, the people you're working with, they'll feel that. They'll feel that genuineness, and they're going to want to work with you. And if you continue to have a system in place where you can follow up with them throughout the years, that it's not just a one time, I wrote it, I got the commission, I got them to sign up with me, and then you just let it coast. If instead you have good systems in place where you can continually follow up throughout the years, that will be a customer for life. And that's where, even again, sometimes our book can get large enough where you start to let that slide a little bit, the follow-up process, especially if that follow-up process is very manual. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so much you can do where you need to make sure you're taking care of those who are already your clients versus still needing to prospect and grow. Because up until the time you retire, you always need to continually be making more sales. You always need to continue to grow your book of business, because sales still fall off for a multitude of reasons. It's not just that maybe another really convincing, smooth talking salesman came in and basically convince your client to jump with them because they're able to save them $15 a month, right? There's other reasons. I mean, they pass away. It could be that sometimes that they just decided that they wanted to leave one kind of plan, and somebody had talked to them at the right place at the right time and moved them from an Advantage plan to a supplement, or from a supplement to an Advantage plan. There's a lot of reasons why, but you always do have to keep growing that book of business until the time you either hire people to be writing new business for you, or you're going to sell your block of business. Otherwise, if you just write 500 people and you're like, man, I got that nice residual coming in and I'm going to let it coast from here on out. If you're in that position, if you get comfortable, you're going to end up losing. I promise. Now, all of us want to get to a point where we're working leads, right? We're having to either generate our own leads or we're going to buy leads, but we want to get to a point where our book of business is good enough and grown enough where we now have to buy less leads because referrals are coming in. And over the years, I've worked with hundreds of agents who built up amazing blocks of business where they don't have to really invest in leads as much anymore because they got all these referrals coming in from doing such an amazing job from their existing clients and from following up with those existing clients and keeping them happy year after year, staying in touch, sending them birthday cards, sending them Christmas cards, right? Letting them know you care, because that client is incredibly valuable to you and to your livelihood. So it shouldn't be anything less. So with that, I just want to really come down to saying that you have to remember, if you're really focusing too heavily on what other people are doing and not enough on your own agency, not enough on buying your own leads and working them, or generating your own leads and working them, and making sure that you're the best version of you that you can be, the most genuine, the most helpful, the most caring, because this is what seniors want from us nowadays. This is what they want to see. There's a ton of us out there who are vying for their business, and people love to see and work with other genuine people. It's the currency, right? Relationship is the currency that we're talking about here. So if you guys are spending too much time focusing on the other agents and not enough time on building your own block and just focusing on what you do, then you're going to be in trouble. And it's really that easy, because it was for me. It's that easy. Our brains are so incredibly powerful, so powerful that at the drop of a dime, you can say, I'm done with this mentality of scarcity. I'm done. And just move forward believing that your mentality of abundance is what's going to get you through. And even in the times when you lose some clients and you feel like that sucks, you keep pressing forward day after day after day, because abundance is the mindset. You know there's more out there. You know there's more out there. So what? You lose 5 clients? Go gain 10. It's completely possible. Promise you. I've seen it. I've done it. It's not, again, it's not a one-off thing either. That's the other big point I want to make, is that this isn't just like the select few who are experiencing results like this. It's really those who decide to dedicate themselves to focusing consistently on building their blogs, making those phone calls, having those conversations, doing presentations, making sales. The consistency is what wins. It's not even the bravado that somebody can have saying, man, I'm an amazing agent. You get me in front of somebody, I can close them. It's not even that. It's the consistency. So if you can couple that bravado with consistency, then dang, you're unstoppable. But really, even those who don't have, the swagger, and they can still, as long as they're consistently performing day in, day out, they're going to build a block, and they're going to look back 2-3 years from now, and they're going to say, holy shite, I did that. And it's hard to see that when you're in that building phase, which I work with so many agents on a daily basis who are in that building phase. When you're in that building phase, it is difficult. Promise you that. But if it were easy, everybody would be making 6-7 figures, right? If it were easy, everybody would do it. But that's what makes you guys part of the 8%. That's how you get into that 8%, is that you go into it knowing it's difficult, and you put in the hard work. You basically have to know that there will be some form of difficulty. Some call it suffering, but there's going to be some type of hardship, right, in the growth. But if you stick it out, man, you will be so proud of yourself. I'm so proud when I revisit with a lot of these agents who a few years back I was talking to them, and I remember when they were in the middle of that struggle. But now looking back to just like, it's that residual. Now I see the effort that I was putting in all that time, how it's paid off now. Those stories, those are so inspiring to me. And again, it's a big thing. It's a big thrust of why I continually want to help agents. On top of talking to consumers, like, I love helping agents because those stories fuel me. And if there's anything that I could ever do to help in any little way in their success, whether it be some tidbits of knowledge and information, whether it be training programs, whether it be the system that we use, I mean, it's so cool to be able to say, like, yeah, I feel really good because I, at least even if it's in some little way, I influenced that or I helped that. That's a big deal. Feels great. So stay encouraged, friends. Stick it through. And remember, have that mindset of abundance, because there's so much business out there. There's so much, and there's not enough of us agents. And when you start delving into becoming more of a portfolio agent, and you start talking about multiple products, geez, sky's the limit. It's going to be amazing, guys. So with all the turmoil going on right now, just remember that, guys, there's a lot of things to be happy about. There's a lot of things that are going, to me, in a really positive, that can be seen in a very positive light. The fact that in the midst of a pandemic, I'm still able to do what I do every single day, that's a huge positive. The fact that in the midst of a pandemic, I was able to still have conversations with seniors, and I was still able to have conversations with agents and help both alike. It's huge positive. The fact that I was fortunate enough to be able to help agents who were face-to-face only agents and who said, man, I don't think I'd ever be able to sell over the phone. And now they're selling over the phone. Huge, huge, huge thing for me to feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride. So there's things that you can always look for. Positivity you can always look for. And I think that the more you guys tune into that and tune off the news and tune off all the drama that happens on Facebook. I like to check into Facebook to look at a few groups that help me to stay motivated, to look at people, to quickly see what's going on. But I try to avoid all the dramatic stuff that's going on Facebook, all the negative stuff that's going on. And true, there needs to be a platform where people can talk about politics and all that. But for me, I can't focus on that, because I promise you this, just like before, and it will be the same after, regardless of who's in office, it is not going to stop my hustle. It is not going to stop me from doing what I've been doing. It didn't stop me from growing through the different administrations that we've been through. It's just not. So it comes down to you. At the end of the day, you're in control. It comes down to you 100%. Can you focus? Can you look and change your mind so that you see things in a positive light rather than a negative? The best way, avoid negative things. Avoid negative news, avoid negative people, and keep looking for positive things and positive people to surround yourself with, because those people will inspire you, they will help you, and they'll help you get ahead. So I'm done babbling. I just wanted to really hit you guys up on just to kind of comment back on the great responses I got today. I really appreciate those responses. I want to be posting more questions like that because I love the interaction. But at the end of the day, I just feel that you should focus very little on your competition. And it's only my opinion, and differing opinions are A-okay. But I believe that you should focus very little on competition and just focus every day on being yourself. Some people in here might be fans of Gary Vee, some people aren't, but he did say in a video that was pretty cool. He said, I wake up every single day with the goal of trying to figure out how I'm going to put myself out of business. That way no one else can. Because if I'm the one who's innovating, who's doing different things, who's working harder at my customer service, client retention, lead generation, taking care of sales flow process, if I'm the one who's constantly trying to become better so that I could do better than I did yesterday, well, then no one else is going to put me out of business, because I am, meaning that I'm going to take myself to the next level. And that's what he means by that. Take it to the next level. So don't worry about your competition. Put yourself out of business. Take yourself to the next level by only focusing on you, your agency, because you can be great. And remember, you don't have to be number one to be successful. You can strive. You can go after the guys who are in those number one positions. You don't have to be number one to be successful. You just have to have happy clients who are able to provide you a living where you're happy, where you can do the things you want, because there's always going to be a work-life balance, right? You can be the type who's willing to sacrifice everything, and all you want to do is focus on work so you can build an empire, right? And that's okay if you're good with that. But I've met a lot of agents who are just like, I need to find that balance. I need family time and I need my business building time. And that's also okay. You just have to figure that out, what you need, and don't look to everybody else in envy and say, hey, I wish I was that. Because if you don't know what it takes sometimes to be at that top level, and you don't know if you really would be happy. So keep that in mind. You always want to have that balance. But for today, that's all I got to say. I want to be Eric Fierro. Thanks, Darren. Thanks. I love the Bob Ross hat. I love it too. Did you know there's a painting underneath? That's a painting underneath. I love this and love you. Thanks, Christian. So guys, I hope you have a great day. I'll be bringing out some more content, popping in some more questions. Interact. I love it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Hey, thanks for checking out the podcast. If you want access to a huge discount on this proven system that gets agents writing business, increasing their revenues, and providing the ability to scale 100% over the phone, then send me a text message at 480-573-7559. This is a discount on the All Access package and applies to life and Medicare agents in the senior insurance industry. If you want access to the product knowledge, the scripts, the tools, the ongoing training, then you've found the right place at SeniorSalesUniversity.com. Again, SeniorSalesUniversity.com. See you on the next one.